So I'm gonna try and keep this like kind of short, because when I tell stories and like recount things, I kind of like get off on tangents, if you haven't noticed from my previous like concert experience videos. So I'm gonna try and keep this as concise as possible. I'll have like timestamps for like specific things in the description box below if you just want to like skip my rambling or whatever. So yeah, I guess let's get into it. But when Monsta X were announced for Jingle Ball, I was actually with my friend Caressa, who I usually go to concerts with. We were just hanging out, and on Twitter we saw like they were announced for some of the Jingle Ball shows. And at first we were like, you know, like they weren't on Chicago. That's usually where we go for concerts. That sucks. We looked up like why, and we're like, oh, award shows, duh. But then we realized like all of a sudden like, oh, they're gonna be in Minnesota. Like, that's kind of far, but kind of close, because I live in Wisconsin, she lives in Illinois, so it's like, oh, it's like there. But then we were like, do we really want to drive like 5 hours to see them do 3 songs? Like, we could save that for World Tour. Well, I ended up getting tickets the day they went on sale. I was like, fuck it, let's do it, kind of thing. I ended up getting tickets. We got like actually a really good seat. And I was like, alright, we're going, like, I'll drive, kind of thing. Bought our Airbnb, all that stuff, and we were ready to go. Like, we were excited. We were pumped to be able to support Monsta X on, like, such a, like, big thing in their career, basically. And then, you know, like, we started, like, meeting people on Twitter who were going to the show. We got put in, like, group chats for Minnesota Monbebes and all of that. And that was really fun. We got to know people and everything, and then the radio station started announcing like, okay, there's gonna be meet and greets with all the artists. And we're like, there's no way Monsta X is gonna do a meet and greet. Like, I bet Starship won't let them. Like, it just seems too good to be true. And then our radio station, KDWB, announced, okay, we're doing like a giveaway for Monsta X meet and greets. And everyone, like all my friends, me and Carissa, everyone were all just like, holy shit, this is really happening. We don't know what the meet and greet is. We don't know if it's high touch. We don't know if it's like a photo with them. We don't know, but we're like, okay, we're all gonna try and win, obviously. It doesn't really matter what it is at this point. It's with Monsta X. So KDWB actually did one of their giveaways with their Front Row Friday tickets, which was super annoying because you basically had, well, I guess I should explain. KDWB, the radio station for the Minnesota Jingle Ball, did call-in contests, which was super annoying because so many of us weren't in the area and we couldn't listen live. We had to listen on the iHeartRadio app, which is like 30 seconds behind actual, like, what is going on, what they're broadcasting, like, for locals, kind of. So that was frustrating, 1. 2, it was frustrating to have like a call-in contest itself when like all the other radio stations were just doing online stuff. And not only that, but then you were doing front row giveaways, which included Monsta X meet and greets. So basically people who didn't even really know who Monsta X were winning these just because they wanted front row seats, which was annoying. But they kept giving away meet and greets for Monsta X the next day on Saturday too. So the entire day I listened to KDWB on the radio, on iHeartRadio, trying to guess like, you know, when to call in because my radio's behind. So, you know, if my song's like a minute, 30 seconds away from ending, I'm gonna call in, kind of thing. It was a disaster, an absolute disaster. None of us from the group chat won. My last attempt, I was caller 1, and you had to be caller 10. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is a joke. But I mean, we were still seeing Monsta X, you know, and I guess they said there were chances to win the day of, so we kind of kept our hopes high. And besides, even if we didn't meet them, like, we've met them before, we're just excited to be able to be there and support them. The day before the show rolls around, Caressa and I leave at 6 in the morning from my place. It's usually about like a 5-hour drive to Minneapolis, but there were snowstorms. So we left early because I was like, I'm not getting stuck in like a snowstorm. I mean, we did kind of get stuck in one for a while. The roads were super bad, so we were like, we'll just like leave early, just, you know, to try and avoid it. Obviously we couldn't, but we made it safely. We all agreed in our group chat to meet up at Mall of America before we go over to the airport to greet them when they arrive. We kind of hung out at Mall of America, eventually made our way to the airport. It's super different than O'Hare's because I've only seen like 17 and Monsta X arrive from International, and you can't like see the baggage claim obviously because you can't go back there. So it was really weird. We were like unsure of where to line up, but everyone was pretty well behaved. We all just kind of eventually lined up from like in front of the door. They exited off the plane like into baggage claim and everything. You know, it was pretty quick. We were just like, hi, welcome to Minnesota. Hi, how are you? I have like a video I'll put in right here.
Good to see you. Hi. Hi, Wonho. Hello. Hi, Hyungwon. Hi, Hyungwon. Hi, Minhyun. Hi, Shona. You look so good.
I mean, I just enjoy going to the airport to greet idols, especially my faves. Just so, you know, like they're excited, they feel welcome, and it's a chance to kind of get to see them again. Yeah, so we did that. That was super fun. Hyungwon like waved at me. Some of the others like kind of acknowledged us, but they were like, you could tell like they're tired. They were just at San Francisco and LA before. So I mean, I wasn't like expecting much because I was like, they're tired. They need to prepare for tomorrow. Like, let them go kind of thing. So then the day of the show rolls around and I could barely sleep the night before. I was so excited. We get ready and then we head to the pre-party. Now the pre-party was like a mini show before the show. It had some smaller artists performing. I think like Madison Beer, Logan Henderson, they were all there. But then they also said, okay, you have chances to win meet and greets at the pre-party. So of course, like not everyone, but lots of people showed up in hopes to win the meet and greets. We came with like our light up signs we made, and we met my friends Ray, Des, Megan, and Tori there. While in line, Ray handed out like her Monbebe projects and little gift bags, which is so cute. That's actually where I got like this pin from. I don't know if you can read it. Here, I'll take it off. That's probably not focusing. It says, life is Monbebe between M and X, Monsta X. So that was really cute. They're like glittery. They had that in them. They had candy, and they had, which I have in my phone right now, you can see, she made like little homemade like, whatchamacallit, photo cards like decked out for like Christmas. So I actually took like, well, afterwards, I took my like official photo card out and now I have that in there for Christmas. She gave those out to Monbebes, and she also gave like candygrams out to other fandoms. It was super cute. Like, she is the sweetest person, and she's been being recognized for all her hard work on the project, so that's super exciting. She deserves it. So she did that, and we kind of helped. Eventually the doors opened, we were let in, we all had like our signs, our little like fans, everything, and immediately we see like a T-Mobile tent with people there, and they tell us like, oh, you can win meet and greets here. So of course, like, we're all like, okay, hey, kind of thing. And it was just like you had to take a photo with like a staff member, tweet it, follow them kind of thing, and they will pick someone to win. So we did that, and then I kind of like wandered away after a bit because they were like, oh, we won't pick for like another 10 minutes. I was like, okay, I need to go find that $25,000 scholarship. Your girl's in debt, still isn't done with her master's, like, let me find that. So I kind of like walk away, and Ray's still over there, like kind of just like chilling, doing stuff. And when I like eventually walk back over to them, Ray's like freaking out. Like, she's like shaking, and I'm like, she's like this. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? And she like kind of like turns the envelope around to show me, and it said Monsta X meet and greets. And I was like, oh my god, congrats. Like, I was freaking out for her because like one, she deserved that. 2, that's my friend. Like, I'm excited for her. 3, like, I don't know, like, I was just so excited. Like, someone I knew got to meet them. Like, someone that I know is a Monbebe is for sure meeting them, and that was, like, just exciting to me. And so I was like, congrats, congrats, and I kind of, like, stuck around to make sure she was okay, because she was, like, shaking. Like, I knew she was okay, just excited, but I did want to make sure, like, you good? You're not gonna, like, pass out or anything, you know? So she was good, and then eventually she asked me, she's like, will you be my +1? Because there's 2 in here. So I immediately start tearing up. I'm like, are you like, I'm like, then I start shaking. Like, are you serious? Are you sure? Are you sure? She's like, yeah, I'm sure. Like, you know, she kind of like gave me like a reason, and it was really cute, and just, so I said, yeah. And I was just like freaking out. I had a giant smile on my face, and then like Caressa and everyone walked over, and I was like I didn't want to be like, I'm meeting them too. So I was just like kind of smiling. Caressa clocked me. She's like, did she ask you? I was like, yeah. And thankfully she was really happy for me. Everyone was really happy for us. But I had this gut feeling. I was like, I think another one of us are gonna win. Like, I can just feel it in my gut. Turned out I was right. Actually Ray, was given meet and greets by someone who won them at the ride like table. They were like, oh, you guys are way more into Monsta X than us, here, take this. So she handed it to Ray, and Ray handed it to Des, and Des like starts freaking out because Megan has never seen or met Monsta X, and they're like best friends. So she's like, oh my god, where's Megan, where's Megan, where's Megan? So I fucking am like running around this like auditorium like, Megan, 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 and I find her eventually, and I'm like, Des won. And she like runs over, and like they're like sobbing, they like fall to the ground sobbing. It was the cutest thing, and I was like, my intuition is like always right, I knew it. We tried to win some for Tori and Caressa, but unfortunately they didn't win, which was stupid because they like, their pose for the ride app or whatever was the most extra thing I've ever seen. Caressa literally did like a handstand for it, and they didn't pick her. I was like, like, really? They had like so many likes and retweets on it too. I was like, how are you not gonna pick them when they're being this extra like for the boys? But we went into the show like still like excited. Caressa was kind of down, which like understandable, because you know, like I was meeting them and she wasn't, and I felt like awful, but she kept telling me like, it's okay, it's okay. It's like, okay. So eventually we wandered over to the Excel Center, and they let us in, and then we found out like, I guess they were letting light sticks in, which we were told from the get-go, no light sticks. I guess they announced it 2 hours before, which I'm salty about, because I would have brought mine if I knew that, like, but we just had our signs, which were just as good, and ended up actually maybe being better than a light stick for us in the long run, which we'll get to. To our seats, they're awesome seats. I'm like so excited. Like, they're the section next to the stage, like 8 rows up, so we're not like too far down that we have to like crane our necks, and you know, we still have a good view. And the artists, like where the artists wait to go on, is right next to us. So I was like, oh, that's cool, like we might see Monsta X. The show starts, you know, it was pretty good. Like, I was impressed by the other artists. Like, I like Bozzy's music, so that was fun. I was surprised by, like, I've never heard a Sabrina Carpenter song, but I love her. She is so cute. And then the Chainsmokers eventually came on. Like, I don't remember the order at this point. And during the Chainsmokers is when we had to leave to, like, go meet up with staff so they could take us to the meet and greet. So we do that, we're waiting, and while we're waiting to get taken down, the group chat gets a DM from Caressa, and it's like cry typing. And I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? Like, are they out there right now? So I was like, Caressa, what? And she sends a video, and she's like sobbing, and she's like, I got a meet and greet, like someone was giving them away, I got one, I'm coming. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's just crazy to me. Like, Tori still didn't get one, which breaks my heart, but like, Caressa ended up getting one so last minute. Like, that was perfect. So we're waiting in line. We're waiting forever. I guess the artist before Monsta X was like super late or something, so we're waiting in line forever. My anxiety is building so much because I'm like, oh my god, like this is happening, it's gonna happen soon. And you know, obviously waiting is just making me more anxious. eventually they let us into the area where we're gonna meet them. It was like up some stairs. It was kind of weird. I see the boys walk in, like behind a curtain, and I'm like, oh my god, that's them kind of thing. Other people like screamed, and I was literally like that's Monsta X, that's them. Oh my god. I've seen them before, but it was like in the moment. It was insane kind of thing. And then like between the curtains that like divide where the photos are getting taken and everything, I can see like through the sliver, I can see like Hyungwon and Jooheon, and I was like, holy shit, this is happening, holy shit, this is happening kind of thing. They're right there. They immediately start like the photos. Des and Megan and Kay and Jaya were right in front of us, so that was cool because we got to be like with our friends. Carissa was in the back, unfortunately. Like I even asked, I was like, can I go back there? And they were like, no. She's like, can I go up there? They said no, so whatever. It ended up working in Carissa's favor because she only got 2 people in the photo, like her and another person, where the rest of us got 4. So when Des and them go like to get their photo taken, Minhyuk, as they're like getting situated in the photos in the chairs, like looked over at me and Ray and like waved. He was like, I was like, I mean, I grinned back, but like in my head, I was like, oh my god, my heart was like in my ass. I was shaking. It was like about to be our turn. I wasn't ready. I didn't even watch like Ray and everyone's like, or not Ray, Kay and like everyone's interactions with them because I was so nervous. Like I don't even know where I was looking. So then it's our turn. Ray goes in first. I hand Hyungwon and Shonu's letter to Eshi. Originally I had like a gift for Hyungwon too and letters for all the members, but I was like, just in case like I don't see Eshi or anything, I'd rather just have these 2 letters because like they're the ones I spent the most time on kind of thing. Now I wish I would have brought like the whole gift, but whatever. I hand them to Eshi, I turn, and Hyungwon is looking at me and smiling like the minute I turn. He was like, I was like, what? So at this point I had tunnel vision. I feel so bad about it. I literally just walked past like thankfully I had been able to say hi to Minhyuk before, but I was like tunnel vision when I saw him. And so like I literally just walked past Wonho, Shonu, Jooheon, and Kihyun without saying anything. Maybe I was like waving or something, but I don't remember it. I don't think I did, which I feel awful about and like want to apologize to them when I see them again because I just feel so bad. So Ray is in front of IM, who is her bias, and my chair is in front of Hyungwon and Kihyun. And so like I sit down and I turn around to Hyungwon and I'm like, can we do like a hand heart? And he's like, yeah, heart. And like, so he puts his hand up too. And like, obviously you guys will see the photo. And I was cheesing so hard. Like, I don't really have an upper lip to begin with, but like that upper lip was gone. I was cheesing so hard. You know, I'm still shaking. I'm sure Hyungwon could feel it and was like, this bitch needs to calm down. We take the photo and then they kind of like try and rush us out of there, but I managed to like turn around after I stand up. And I'm like, I love you so much to Hyungwon. He's like, I love you. And then he kind of like has his hand up, so like we touch hands, kind of like almost like a free high touch. And his hands are so soft and they're so warm. And you know, I just said like, thank you. And then like as I turn away, obviously to look where I'm going, IM is standing there and he still has his hand up from when he put his hand up to like high five Ray. And he just, if you guys have met IM before or like even seen him up close, he has the kindest eyes, especially when he's like looking at Monbebe. Like it's just, I can't even describe it. Like they all look at Monbebe like we put stars in the sky. But every time I see like IM looking at us, I'm always like it shakes me. So I said like, thank you, something like that. And then we're off and I'm like freaking out as soon as we get down. I'm like, oh, that really happened. The way Hyungwon looked at me, like he was smiling, like, you know, I was freaking out. We go back to our seats and then I think we catch the end of Youngblood, which I was kind of sad. I had to miss 5 Seconds of Summer because like I used to be a huge fan of them. but I was like, whatever, like I'd do it 10 times over again for Monsta X. And we're just kind of jamming, you know. Caressa finally gets back from the end of the line. We like are freaking out to each other, like hugging, all of that. And then Five Sauce's set is being like changed over to Halsey, and we're waiting for her, kind of like talking to each other and everything. And then Halsey comes on. So I don't remember what song she opened with, but I was just kind of like, you know, like I don't hate Halsey, but I'm not a super big fan, so I was just kind of like, kind of playing on my phone, like texting my friends who weren't at the show about what happened. And then Caressa was like, Danielle, and she kind of like grabs me and spins me like slightly diagonal, and Monsta X were standing there like waiting for their turn. And Jooheon was already looking over at us, probably because like he saw Caressa's like sign. She wasn't holding it, but it was like beside her. And so like I turn and Jooheon's looking at us, and we're like waving, we're like hi hi, and he waves back at us, you know. He like has his big dimply smile on his face, and I was like, and then I immediately turn around in my seat to grab my hyungwon light up sign. I turn it on and I like hold it like right here because they were like close enough to see. And immediately Hyungwon sees it, and he's like, he like waves, and he's like, he has like such a big smile on his face, and he just looked so bright and happy. And he waved for like 30 seconds. I was like, I was freaking out. And then Minhyuk, you know, his extroverted ass comes over. He's like, oh, what's happening, kind of thing. And we wave to him too, and he waves like, and you know, Chris and I turned to each other to like freak out, and the moms next to us were like, they're waving, they're saying hi, kind of thing. We're like, we know. Eventually we turned back to watch Halsey because we're like, okay, we don't want to like watch them or think we're like not paying attention to other artists and being rude, kind of thing. So Bad at Love comes on, and I'm like singing along, you know, kind of grooving, and you know, out of the corner of my eye I look over again, and they're looking at us. They're like watching us. I'm like, what? Like my heart like stopped. I was like, why are they watching us? Like, why are they watching us? Like, I get it, we're Monbebe, they know we're Monbebe, but like, they're literally just watching us jam out? Like, what? And then, so like, I catch Kihyun's eye, and I start going like this with him, and singing along, and he like laughs and is like doing it back, and we're just bopping to Halsey together as if we're BFFs. And this is when like, and like Jooheon was like laughing at us, like, you know, like clearly enjoying it. And I was just like, what? And even like the girls near us who were like there for like, they said they were there for everyone. They were really cute. They looked over and they're like, oh my god. They were like freaking out for us. They were so sweet. And then around this time, Shonu kind of like sees me and Caressa, and he like has a little dad smile on. I don't know how to describe it, but you know, like his little like not his like really big one where he's like laughing, but the little, and he like waves to us, and we're like, hi, like what is going on? Like, first of all, Jooheon like clocked us first, not the other way. Well, at least when I was turned over there. Hyungwon was like super excited to see my sign for him, probably because if he recognized us from tour, he probably remembered she had a Shonu sign last time. Now she's got my name. I won. We won't go into details about that. But, yeah, I think I am waved at one point, kind of everything. They were waving to, like, other Monbebes that were over there, too. They were just, like, obviously, if you're in the fandom, you know, like, they adore Monbebes more than, like, anything in the world, but it was still, like, so surreal. Like, why are they watching us when Halsey's on stage? Why are they, like, they didn't have to wave to us. They didn't have to interact with us. But here they are, like, super excited to see us, and I was just overwhelmed. I was like, this isn't real. This has to be a dream. How could it have gotten better after meet and greet just happened and it was so wonderful? Like, this is not real, kind of thing. Eventually, Halsey's set ends, and people start leaving. Even though it was like still to come, Monsta X. Like a quarter of the stadium, arena, whatever it's called, left. And my heart literally broke, because Monsta X are at the side of the stage. Like, yeah, they're kind of far back, so they can't see like the whole arena, but they can still see people leaving and they're watching that. And my heart just like broke in half. I was like, why? Why are you all leaving? Like, it's 3 songs, that's all they're doing, like, please, like, stay. We were like begging people to stay at this point. Some people did stay, thankfully. We actually had less people leave than most of the other Jingle Ball venues from what I've heard. So I'm really grateful for that, and I'm so thankful for all the people that did stay that weren't necessarily Monsta X fans and gave it a chance, because that means so much to us and to Monsta X. So anyway, the seats in front of us are like suddenly clear. And so Eshi, their US manager, some of you might not know him. I should have mentioned he's their US manager when I said I gave him the letters. But he was kind of like back there, like to the side of the stage, like saying like, come down, get people down as much as we can. Like all the mom bebes in our section are like hopping seats to get like closer to the stage. We actually get like the first row in that section, so we're basically on the 4 side stage right now. And they come out with like their intro, which goes into shootout, and I'm just screaming my head off. Like, I have a video, I'm probably not even gonna post it because it's like just like me shaking and screaming while holding up the sign, which ended up being in like this dude's face, and I was like, I'm so sorry, and he's like, no, you like live your best life, you enjoy it. And I was like, thank you. Which they ended up like jamming out to shootout, which I was pumped about, like seeing like locals getting into like a group they're not familiar with in a different language. Like, that was wonderful to me. So they do shootout, which I think I like blacked out like during the titty vibrating because I vaguely remember it. I think I was just so shook that I was like, oh, like, but seeing shootout live was amazing. The cheers were so loud, the fan chants were loud, like it was just the coolest thing. Like, they looked so happy up there. They of course did wonderful. After shootout, they kind of like introduced themselves, did a quick like little, we're Monsta X, like we know this isn't in a language that most people understand, but just try and feel the music. It was I am talking, of course. And then they did Drama Rama. I love seeing Drama Rama live. Like, it's one of my favorites because I love the choreo and the song. That was powerful, of course. At that point, like, it was between the intro and Drama Rama, Jooheon like went over to say like something about the mic, and he kind of like glanced over at all the mom bebes in our section and just like smiled, and I was like, they're so happy, like there's like people here supporting them, and it made me happy. They did Drama Rama, and then they ended with Special, which I was so excited about. That's one of my favorite songs from Monsta X, and one of my favorite to be seen performed. Just because like only the chorus has like a choreography, so like during the rest of the time they're like grooving on stage, you know. And Jooheon and Hyungwon of course come over to our side multiple times and are like jamming with us and all the mom bebes behind us and everything. And like, I wish I could just like describe the smile on Jooheon's face. He of course was like giving so much attention to Carissa, because at this point he knows like she biases him. He's like, that's my girl kind of thing. Minhyuk came over at one point too and was like jamming with us. I think like everyone but Wonho did. Wonho and IM, they stayed more on the other side or in the middle kind of thing. But so then it ended. I really wish they would have done more than 3 songs, obviously, but I get it. Like, they're the closer, and you know, hopefully some other time, if they're ever invited back to Jingle Ball or something like it, they'll get a little bit more time. So it ends, and they walk off stage the same way they came on, so they're right there. Jooheon walks like over like really far, like so he can see like not only us but like the people up further behind us. He's waving to everybody, like giving thumbs up, smiling, that dimply smile. And you know, we say goodbye, and then Hyungwon like kind of walks over towards him. He's still a little bit behind him, and he like immediately makes eye contact with me, and he's like waving goodbye, and I like was just like waving back, like so shook. You know, I'm still holding my sign. I'm like, bye, I love you kind of thing. And you know, eventually he does turn to like wave to people further up and everything. But I was just like, he literally was like to me, I have a photo which I'll put right here for you. which I didn't, like, I had only one hand because I was holding the sign, so I wasn't able to like zoom in, and I didn't even realize that was in the photo until after the show when I was looking through, and I was like, holy shit. So that happened, and then Minhyuk walked over to put like his mic away, literally like at the table right in front of us. And so I said like, you guys did amazing, and he said thank you, and he like gave me a high five. And at this point, like, other people like started rushing towards like where I was stood and where he was, and he looked like kind of alarmed and like kind of worried for like the tech and security people near him. So I kind of was like, you guys, like, just watch out, like, don't hurt anyone kind of thing. And he was like, yeah, watch out, and he like smiled, and then he like did high five other people who were next to me. He also signed a little girl's poster, which was really cute. I'm sure you guys have seen the tweet. And then they were gone, which was so sad. But they seemed so happy on stage, and like they were having so much fun, and afterwards they seemed so happy to say like thank you and wave to all the Monbebes, and I was just like, I was on such a high from that. I was so shook, like how not only did I get meet and greet and have a great meet and greet experience other than accidentally ignoring like 4 members, and then get so many interactions with them before they even went on stage. Like, it was like, I can't even describe like how grateful and happy I am, and like I'm just so thankful to stand a group that like stands you back, basically. Like, I'm just like, I'm still on a high, though I have some post-concert depression, but so yeah, that's kind of everything that happened. If you guys like have any questions or like want to talk, my Instagram and Twitter are below. Thanks for watching, and I will hopefully see a lot of you guys at tour in the summer. Bye!